So here I am. Everyone's running into the issues of '07 Toyota Sienna vans that the transfer case actually decides to explode or the bearings go out. And if you Google it, it's a hell of a job. I sat down, video after video, trying to figure out what way is the best way to go with it. And people were pulling the tranny apart. People were pulling the transmission out. They're doing all that kind of stuff to do the job. Well, I found the easy way of doing it. I did from start to finish. I think it was 4 hours, I think, from start to finish on the last one. And I did it again this time, and I did the way I did it last time and timed myself, and I did it in 3 hours this time. So basically, here's the van I'm working on. Toyota Sienna. Proof that I didn't touch any of the tranny. Tranny's still bolted. Didn't touch it at all. Basically, a lot of people were saying that you gotta do it that way, but really you don't. Let me see if I can turn this. Just a second. So basically, you undo the engine mount on the passenger side. You get it all the way out because you got to get the axle out. As soon as you get the axle out, it opens up a lot of stuff. In my case, I had to cut the exhaust manifold because the bolts are rusty like usual, or they mess up on the studs on the exhaust manifold. So as soon as you get all that open, it's all right there, easily done. So then after that point, the trick of it is on the transfer case, there's a bolt here you got to take out, a bolt here you got to take out, and then once you undo all the bolts around the transfer case itself, at that point it's loose, and then you have wiggle room. And then as soon as you wiggle it, what you do is you come over here, and you can see where, because you're not going to use it again, so it doesn't matter usually, and even if you are going to reuse it, it'll still work this way. So if you see it here, I actually got a Sawzall with a real coarse blade, and after removing that, you can actually, the motor's like probably 2 inches from touching this. You can get a Sawzall blade right here because there's a bolt on the back side. Impossible to get out. I don't care who you are, you will not get that bolt out. So the way I did it was basically, once I had wiggle room, I pried it and I moved it. I pried right here between the motor and this, pried it, got a little bit more room. Then I got my blade and I sawed this and sawed it. I took about an 1/8 inch out of there to be able to get a 14 millimeter wrench in there. So as soon as I was able to get a wrench in there, I basically untightened it to the point it was touching the transfer case. And when it was touching the transfer case, I got a Sawzall again, and I got a blade up in there between. And what I did was I cut the head of the bolt off once it was loose. And then once the head of the bolt was off, I just got needle nose pliers and I twisted the rest of it out of the hole, which made it so the bracket that you can't remove because of that 114 millimeter bolt. But as soon as you get that bolt out, that bracket comes out. And then basically you put it right in, and job simple. Don't waste time. Do it the easy way. Just do some cutting. You'll do it just fine. You might be a little longer than me on the first time, but I honestly do them in about 3 hours. versus what everybody else is doing. I watch videos on it, and it kind of blew me away. But there's always another way, and that is the way. Works perfect, no damage, start finish, maybe 3 to 4.5 hours, depending on how mechanically inclined you are. So give it a shot. Thanks.